Rolling with the triple C, I'ma make him bend the knee. Rolling with the triple C, don't really count the heat.
So the middleweight division is spicy right now. It really is. You know why? Because it is good to be king. That's right. And his name is Alex Pereira. But there's three guys that are there to challenge this man. You have Khamzat Chimaev, the popular guy who grapples, the wrestler who will make it dirty. And then you have Robert Whittaker, the man who is the #1 contender who just cannot get past Israel, but can beat everybody who Israel has ever beat in a different and a better fashion. And then obviously you have another quadrilogy with Israel Adesanya. There's something that I love about competitors, and I love this idea about Alex Pereira because he wants to fight Israel Adesanya once again, and I think that's a great idea. You know why? Because Israel, out of those other two guys, whether it's Whittaker or Chimaev, Stylebender's still the better matchup for him. You know why? It's because of this. It's because of this, because the striking wars, because you know that you have the ability, if you're able to close distance, you're able to knock him out once again. And I think about Israel in that situation. I think Israel needs to, and I said it before, and I think Israel needs to take a break. Israel has fought the who's who. He has cleared out the division until he went up against Alex, but he fought. This man was fighting 3 times a year. As a champion, man, that's hard. You know, typically it's standard to fight twice, but for him to fight, you know, three to even 4 times a year, man, that says a lot about you. But at the same time, it's like you also you need to stop competing in order for you to start learning Israel. In order for you to get better. I promise you, Jones took those 3 years to get better. I promise you, this man's coming back and he's gonna be better. Even myself, like because you become a fan outside looking in, you start to see different opportunities. I wouldn't be mad if you take a whole damn year off. Take a whole damn year off. Find a great wrestling coach. Somebody that's going to teach you top, bottom, different controls in that manner as you're able to, you know, develop new striking tools. Not for kickboxing or boxing, but specifically for MMA. Things that have to do with level change, your fakes, your feints, on how is it that you can disguise and more of the things that you're already doing. You know, there's so much more room for you to grow. But going back to Alex Pereira, even though I'm saying this, even though I'm going to contradict myself there, Alex Pereira is right to call out a guy like Israel Adesanya because it is the best matchup for him other than Whittaker or Khamzat Chimaev.
Yeah, so what do you think of Khamzat's a very interesting case because we all know that he probably has, like, he'd probably be the favorite in a fight against Pereira, but he came in, 8.5 pounds overweight in his last fight. Do you think he's done enough to get a title shot in his next fight, or would you rather first see him get that Colby Covington test?
Yeah, I would definitely. I gotta see him. First of all, I have to see this man make 170 pounds. I really do. I gotta make this man make 170 pounds and see if it's worth it. And if you can ragdoll a guy like Colby Covington, then okay. You're next for that title shot because you would beat the #1 contender, but I don't think that's so much of a good idea because I really even till today, like, I don't think Khamzat knows how to train. I don't know if he knows not doesn't know how to train. I just think he trains too much. I think he needs to learn how to peak because if you train that much, you're missing weight. Your cortisols are too high. You're doing too much. Your body will eventually start breaking, and you know, it's not so much that he's fat or he's eating crazy stuff like KG and Triple C. It's more the fact that he's just overtrained. So the more you train, the more you overload, the more you want to eat, and the more you eat, the bigger you get, the more muscle you produce because you're constantly giving that energy attention. Where that energy wants to grow. And I'm talking about the muscles here. So I think the perfect scenario for a Khamzat Chimaev is at middleweight at 185 pounds. Trust me, man. It got to the point that I'm just like, I wasn't stopping anybody at flyweight other than I stopped a couple guys at flyweight. But once I went to bantamweight and I felt good, guys, I started stopping everybody that crossed my path. So I think that's exactly where Khamzat wants to go. Stay at middleweight, man. Stay at middleweight. Do it there, and then see if you can get on a really good diet. And if you're able to make 170 pounds and make it healthy, I mean that would be my preference. If I was his coach, you got to take those chances. Not just because you're bigger at 170 doesn't mean you're actually going to recover. So I think there's a bunch of perfect matchups there.
And getting back to Pereira, so he is a pretty interesting, if he does fight Adesanya, if you look at their 3 fights, you had the 2 kickboxing. The first one was a really close fight. A lot of people think Israel won, but Pereira got the decision. The second one, Izzy was actually dominating until he got knocked out. And then in the UFC fight, of course, we have Adesanya was a round away from obviously winning the fight until he got knocked out. So going into this fight, which would be their second in MMA, their 4th overall, what do you think matchup-wise? Like, who has the edge going into that? Do you still give it to Pereira, even though there's been, some close calls in the past against Izzy?
Yeah, I think the only way Israel beats Alex Pereira is he has to play the matador. He needs to just play the distance game and kick his legs. Play the distance game, stick and move. Because you notice, too, Alex Pereira, he's not as swift with his hands. He just has he has power in his hands, but he's not as swift. Like, it's not necessarily like super tight where, we see a lot of the elite professional fighters that they have, but he does have power in these. When you have power in these hands, man, it makes it more difficult. And I said it before, guys. I said the way you beat Israel is you kick his legs, and that's exactly what he did. You guys go back and watch everything that I was talking about, because Izzy's stance, he still needs to adjust it. This isn't, especially with the threats like wrestling, it makes it a whole lot more difficult. So I think, anyways, that's kind of what I think. I think that's just the best matchup for him.
So you're still gonna go, prediction right now. You still think Pereira will come out on top in the rematch?
Yes. I do believe if Israel decides to be entertainer, like just to entertain the crowd, yeah. But if he wants to be a winner and if he's able to fight him tactically, yeah, I do think I do believe he could beat him. I really do. He was up to in my scorecards. He was up 3-1. Literally 3-1, and he could have just cruised it in the 5th. But these are things that he needs to understand. At the end of the day, like, people are gonna remember the loss, not the fact that you put on a good performance. Like 10 years from now, oh yeah, he lost, he got knocked out. They'll forget, man. People will literally forget all those great fights that you had, and they'll always go back and be like, hey, he won, he lost. So I think if Izzy can make those transitions, I think not only do I believe that, I just think I'm not sure if Izzy will literally knock him out, even though he got close in that first round. But I do believe Israel could easily, if he's able to use the footwork, the distance, and point fight him, I think he could beat Alex Pereira once again. So thank you guys again for watching. It means a lot to me. So you guys remember, there's more breakdowns, there's more technique, there's more tactics, and there's definitely more cringe. So make sure to subscribe and click on that button. I'm out!